Please make a request. This ship, if you are not a protectorate subject, in case of enemy attack. Acknowledges that the concept of pay may be strange and alarming. Please note that theft will result in punishments that are infinitely more strange and alarming. How might this unit bolster or reduce
What's going on down there, Deck 01? I saw an intruder alert. Acknowledged. This intercom is to be used for emergencies only. Misuse of this intercom will result in prompt arrest and correction of the perpetrator. Now, how can I assist you, Deck 01? Again? I shall send her down right away. But this is becoming a daily occurrence, and I will see such slothfulness reflected on her record. Sick in the head, more like. I wouldn't be surprised if she were vying for a sojourn to placid waters just to get off this ship. But I remind you that gossip is strictly prohibited over this channel. Over and out.
You know, it's against code to impede me from seeking medical treatment. Has everyone? So sorry, I have an appointment to keep. Please, let me get release from this life. Please, let me get release from this life.
What is with the anomalous behavior? Getting you discount at all participating anti-choice vectors.
Let's get to Deck 2 before we encounter them.
Good that we went through the rigmarole of acquiring that scientist's credentials. If we choose to keep from arbitrating the local scientists, we may be able to gather information on where the console's modulator is stationed.
Be wary. I've heard. I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set off an alarm, okay? Oh, my apologies. If you haven't, security's been awfully stringent of late. Wouldn't do to be accidentally permanently discharged on your first day. I've been trying to convince everyone I'm perfectly fine. For if I do not, I fear I might be remade as part of the new plan for Arcadia. I do not wish to be remade.
No one deserves this. Irrefutable proof that the Council's mad plan is impossible. Yet even if we confronted him with it, I doubt it would stop him.
I was notified that you were here, though my fellow scientists seemed rather confused as to why. Unsurprisingly. What exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab and hopefully the rest of this system from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait. The IRC. I did not realize you were a colleague of sorts. We haven't shared much of our findings with your branch, I'm afraid. But our results do match. Raw data from whatever a rift engulfs is preserved, yes, but the essence of a thing is not. Like a sense of self, for example, is lost forever. Further, there is no proof that such data can be stabilized or even edited. The Consul's plan is futile, completely. But he no longer listens to me, which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. But I doubt he will pay it much mind. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good. It's clear you aren't bound by the same rules as the rest of us somehow. If he won't hear Mia, perhaps a third party will have more luck. Here, use this keycard on the module over there. It will allow you to download my report and grant you access to the control deck. I hope you're able to sway him, because if you don't, we're all dead. A deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it, which makes your persuading him that much more necessary. Go now.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
Lord, look at the size of that thing. No way we're using the modulator. This can't be right. If skip drives are causing the rifts, why are they showing up past the frontiers of known space?
Our work here is not done. We must confront the console before anything can come to fruition regarding these schematics or the rift modulator.
You, here before me. Surprised you could outrun these new legs of mine. They're what everyone's going to be wearing next fall. Well, I'm here now. Where's the rift modulator? So Consul Thoreau has everything directly under his control. I'd say that's remarkably competent for the Protectorate, but he is the one who's been pulling their strings all along. Did you find anything else of note? Wait, what? But rifts are caused by skip drive travel. Human-piloted skip drive travel. How is that possible? You're the one in the dark. I'm simply musing aloud. Much as I'm intrigued by the significance of all this, there's no time to dwell on it now. We need to confront the Consul. You might be savvy enough to talk him down, but his type requires a deft touch. You'll need to break him down brick by brick. If you're too adversarial, he'll simply shut down. Certainly. The doubt you cultivate up front will make him more susceptible to what comes after. And in case you aren't quite as sharp as you appear, be ready to fight.
You may try to reason with the console, but I suspect it is a worthless effort. Traitors typically only realize their errors through force.
I advise you to take this time to prepare and replenish supplies. See if you can snoop around and find a way to give yourself an advantage should these negotiations go south. And if you've anything else to say it now while you have the chance. I myself abhor unanswered questions and regrets.
So, here we finally stand, at the threshold of the final confrontation with the console. How I have waited for this moment. There's little doubt that he must be slain. And yet, I wish there were an alternative. He should have to rectify his wrongs and answer to Arcadia's people. I'm merely doing my duty, Commander. Though that's very kind of you to say. There was a time when all of this, not just confronting the console, but standing here beside you, would have been impossible to consider. I'm glad that we met. Let us proceed. We shall bring the console to justice together.
This is it, Commander. Only thing standing between us and saving Arcadia is a single dastardly villain. Feels almost quaint after everything else, don't it? Can't believe I wasted so many years sitting on my hands when I could have been out there making corpses of them that most deserve it. You sound like Tristan. You know, back in the day, reading tales of all your daring do's. Never could have imagined myself fighting alongside you. Not just as a fellow agent, but also a friend. Funny how life turns out. All right, enough jawing. Let's show the consul to his reward. Law knows it's long past due.
Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Do I appear like someone afraid of a few guns? Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
On the contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? I'll only be killing a select number permanently. The worthy, however, will be resurrected and reformed so they may reach their full potential. Open your mind, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Indeed. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously tampered with our Vox relay on Paradise Island. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. You think yourself clever, don't you? The Sovereign is indisposed, leaving myself as the sole custodian of Arcadia. What's his is mine. And the victory I inevitably clench over you, over anyone, will be his in turn, even if he's not here to bask in it. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
Do you know how many bits our corporation lost when the delegation ships were destroyed? The savings from the deceased salaries hardly even make up for it.
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. It's only a crime in your estimation. When one clinches a decisive victory, who among the living would dare complain about the methodology? Using the very rift modulator on this ship, we will destroy Arcadia and edit the information stored within the resulting rift, all to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
If you've a plan, I trust you to see it through. But I shall keep a hand on my hammer throughout.
It's your time that's running out, not mine. So go on, tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner seeing it carried out. Do not presume to tell me what is or isn't the truth. I was advisor to the original Sovereign. I know the mind of a true leader. This is the path Henry should have taken. Yes, of course we argued over methodology. Henry was always too stubborn, too focused on the past to understand the opportunity before him. I regret that he had to make such a difficult choice. That one of the matriarch's heirs is not guiding us. But he needed to look beyond himself, like I am doing now. You just come and go as you please, do you? I ensured he would have a handler by his side if any assistance was needed. And I understand that it is, which is regrettable. But fulfilling the Architect's plan is worth the cost. Henry would agree. The people would agree. So you say. But you've yet to deliver any compelling evidence. Though it matters not. You've little chance of swaying me. I am doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You will not distract me from taking what is owed to us. And what is your definition of wrong? Have you anything substantial to back such a claim? I see. Well, the man was always a cynic. I find that attitude can skew results even more than a thumb on the scale might. One data point means little. The Protectorate was clearly meant to harness this power. Nothing you claim can disprove everything that points to this reality. And now I've reached the end of my patience. You came here claiming so boldly that I would fail, but you have yet to provide any proof. So where is it? What do you have? And leave the traitors and invaders alive? No! Death is the only way forward. We can only be made pure from the ashes, despite whatever supposed proof you have to the contrary. Claim? If you cannot see the truth of my devotion written plain, then now I see why you are against me so. But you are wrong about the risk. We are losing this war. It is inevitable. The victors will brutally subdue us until we become corrupted. Until we forget our principles, our history. the very core of who we are. It is better that we perish together as proud protectorate, proud Arcadians. Preserving our purity is a mercy. More than that, is it not love? Do you think I've found pleasure from the pain I've wrought? No! I've only done what I must. A child, a society, cannot grow into its potential without firm correction. I would die to see that the Protectorate's legacy would not be tarnished, just as I would die for its promise to be fulfilled, and its subjects to live in peace. Just moments ago, I would have said that without their shepherd, there is no hope for the flock. But I am no shepherd, am I? Perhaps I am one who must make way for the future, whatever it may be. Though how I may at this stage, I cannot say. The rift modulator is working at pace to... What? Oh, by the matriarch. It seems we have a problem. The rift has... well, it has nearly destabilized completely, and the modulator cannot close it in its current state from a safe distance. Destruction of Arcadia is imminent. Architect, help us. There is. Though given your tenacity in preventing bloodshed, I don't believe you'll appreciate it. A chance yet remains. We must bring the modulator as close to the rift as possible. However, when the rift folds in on itself, this ship and its operator will not survive.
Always a catch, ain't there?
Oh, Emery, taking a page from Auntie's choice product testing, I see. We do try to avoid a consistent certainty of death, though. It's just bad business.
Let me be clear. I am not placing this burden upon your shoulders. This was my doing. And so it is my responsibility to set things right. I will give you time to vacate the ship. When you are clear, I will fly it into the rift myself. You are right. Arcadia will find its way without me. Think what you wish of me, but this is my responsibility. And that is something I will never shirk from.
With all that's happened, I did not expect you to retain any scrap of honor. You're still a scoundrel. But at least you have Sam.
Now go. Make what's left of your existence count.
Damn right.
Let's get on with it then.
When the Consul was faced with the undeniable errors in his logic, he chose to save Arcadia by closing the rift himself. He died hoping his sacrifice might make up for the disastrous decisions he had made. Thanks to the Commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox Station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. Acquisitions Officer Carr enjoyed the perks and power that came with promotion for her asset-winning techniques on Paradise Island. Her rival, D.B. Milverstreet, meanwhile, seethed as he pushed cold morsels of borschtloaf around the plate of his microwave dinner. Vigilant Hogarth was declared a traitor to the Protectorate, along with most other Westport townsfolk. They were judged according to the paradigm, then sentenced to be executed until dead, forever tied to the city they could not protect. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Warchek was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Having died at the peace talks, Augustine DeVries' treachery was never known to the Earth Directorate. She is forever remembered as the star agent who tragically went missing during her mission. Val continued to serve the commander of the Incognito faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. Despite Niles' affection for Val, he didn't believe automechs like her should replace their human counterparts. Yet Niles was no longer part of the Earth Directorate, and he had no say in the matter. Following his rejection of the Earth Directorate, Niles became a vigilante, feared for his ruthlessness across Arcadia. The commander backed him up on this crusade against injustice. Following Inez's humiliation of Auntie's Choice VP Willard Conan, the grafting program was shuttered forever. Inez ensured that all surviving grafted soldiers received full medical treatment and were compensated for their suffering. Those who died from the experiments were honored. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After thoughtful cogitation and calculation, Marisol slowly began to reject violence as the sole method for eliminating random variables. Not coincidentally, her social calendar began filling up. After Azza disbanded the Glorious Dawn, its members quietly tried to resume lives forever disrupted by the Arcadian conflict. As the cult's murderous legacy faded, average colonist life expectancy increased by 0.23%. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order, yet privately aspired to keep free trade anything but free. She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Auntie made her first public appearance in years, inspiring a fashion trend in bubble helmets. In no time at all, she won more public support than Ruth, which she sought to use as leverage when the time was right. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. The rift compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Meanwhile, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's Loyalty Program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia. Its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.